Hi everyone, this is a bit unusual. I'm starting the show from the car because I don't want to be too late. The eyes on cricket with Norman and Koshlak will be in a little bit of darkness in the car, but we'll persist. Just make sure you can all hear me. Of course, today we have the first of the one-day internationals between Sri Lanka, the home side, and Australia. One of 5 matches, the first one being, in fact, the first 2 will be in Pallekele. We'll have others in Colombo as well, out of the 5 matches. That'll then lead into a 2-test series between Sri Lanka and Australia, and that'll be based in Galle at Rajapaksa Stadium down there in Galle. Great venue that it is. I've been there on a number of occasions, had the pleasure of actually playing on the ground as well. But yes, it's going to be certainly interesting, and we'll see that unfold. And I never forget the day that Nathan Lyon took his first ever Test wicket on that Galle Stadium pitch, where he took the wicket of Kumar Sangakkara, caught behind off his first ball. Quite an impressive start from Nathan Lyon to his Test career from a bowling perspective. Now he's taken well over 400 Test wickets. Not quite up to the level of James Anderson, who's got 650, and of course Stuart Broad, who is some 540 odd. So they're both well up there. It's quite an impressive situation in terms of the bowlers with incredible amount of wickets. Still not matching Morley with his 800 or the 708 that our man Shane Warne, who was being given Queen's birthday honours, given a honorary title. I guess a bit late, but better late than never. So that's Subhash Chandra Barata. You've said okay. This StreamYard broadcast. I'll be eventually making my way inside home, and I'll have better light there. But it's about another 5 minutes away, so I'll have a look. Because where's my lights? Well, I'll give you a bit of light there. There we are. Shouldn't be putting a light in the car, but I am. You can see me here. I'm actually driving. Shouldn't be driving and on the. I'm actually watching the camera as such, but so we're all here. We have what will be a very exciting, I think quite an exciting series, especially after Sri Lanka came back and won the third T20 international there in Pallekele with an amazing performance by Dasun Shanaka, certainly putting his name on the map. Great, powerful 50-odd runs he scored. Cricket Mirror, are you driving a case? I am driving a car, Cricket Mirror, but I won't be driving for very long. I'm about another 5 minutes away from home. I'll make my way out of the car into home, and we'll be able to do the show from there. But yes, very exciting to see this ODI. Why am I excited? There's no ODI World Cup this year at all. There's only a T20 World Cup. But having said that, though, I do think that these two teams are better suited to these conditions. I hope Roshan Dickweller gets a Guernsey. To me, he's a player of great quality in this format. Australia A are 5 for 117. That's not exactly a great scoreline, is it? That's a test match too, or test conditions. So that's not exactly good, is it? Yeah, well, that's a bit of a boil over there. Well, it's early days, but still, it's not very conducive to a big score there from Australia. Eh? We get to see Australia bowl to the Sri Lankan A side, so that may even things up. But it's not a good start by Australia A at all, Oliver. Thank you for that update. Asad Mirza, I can see from the Pakistan perspective, of course, they certainly have the wood over West Indies in their series. They're in Multan. India are struggling against South Africa, at Katak and the like. And then we have, of course, England and New Zealand in a matter of a couple of hours where New Zealand are struggling somewhat. They still have Mitchell and bat. They're at 230 odd runs in front. They wouldn't want to drop too far below that because obviously, it's the last day, so they want to get close as they can to get 300 and then waste a bit of time so to make it difficult for England to win. If they get skittled earlier, well, that's another story, of course. Another story altogether. What do we got here? Will toss play a major role in today's match to Pallekele? It's an ODI as opposed to a T20. Yes, I think it will, because obviously the day will turn into night, and the day conditions will probably suit a batting performance. So winning the toss and batting, I think, would be the way to go. That's my thoughts. That would be my suggestion. I don't know what your thoughts are. I haven't got any guests yet. Oh, but it's exciting to see Sri Lanka and Australia. I do like those series. Sri Lanka are perennially the underdog in these matches. So, yeah, that's certainly the case. Robert M., you've just made a comment, but I can't read it. Hey, Norman, got a feeling England will win somehow. How will Maxwell go? Well, yeah, for England to win, they're going to have to get them out very, very quickly. Well, they're 7 down, so Mitchell's the one they've got to get out. Well, they get them out quickly, and say 250 on the board with 2.5 sessions to go, they have every chance of winning. They will win. But yeah, in terms of Maxwell, Glenn Maxwell's a star. A bit like Virat Kohli. Haven't seen the best of him lately, but we know that it can turn on any time. And he's had a couple of good shots in the T20, then got out fairly cheaply. But I would imagine we'll see the best of him at some stage in this 5 ODIs. He does like the Sri Lankan grounds, I can recall. Yeah, will Marnus Labuschagne bowl some overstay? Oh, I hope not. Josh Philippe, class closes his century in spin figures. Okay. I think that Marnus Labuschagne's an interesting one. His Test career has been pretty distinct. His short form hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been great either. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But yeah, I tend to think that Josh Philippe, it looks like it's good to see Australia A and Australia both playing in Sri Lanka. They're both getting a good old chance to show their wares, and people like well, let's have a think. Some of the batsmen there that have shown their wares, Cameron Green, for example. Where am I, Paul? I'm actually in a car on the way back home to Coogee. So I thought I'd start the session rather than be a little bit late, and doesn't take away from the show at all. We haven't got any guests at this point, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so Marnus Labuschagne didn't play the T20. He is in the ODI team. It probably suits him better that he plays in the ODI, slightly longer time to bat. But I still don't rate him as a short form player. I know some of you do. His Test career has been obviously statistically great. So has Steve Smith, but of late they haven't been as dramatic. The one that we all know has done exceptionally well is Usman Khawaja, who was also a very good ODI player, and even to that extent a T20 player, and is totally out of favour with selection there. So I don't get that one either, because he's obviously resurrected his Test career emphatically with 2 centuries in Sydney and then a number of centuries in Pakistan. Can't wait to see him play at Gaul. He'll bat well there and should score runs yet again. Usman Khawaja could well end up being the player of the year as far as batting is concerned. Number 1 ranking, well, it's not that far from his grasp. Admittedly, Joe Root's been phenomenal in his performances, and he's some 10 centuries in the last year and a half or so. He's bound to be recognised as number 1. Babar Azam and Khawaja on his ankles. Marnus Labuschagne as well. Emerging of South Africa batsman's another thing. Hello, Babu Dada. Bubble Dada. Caught a glimpse of your name. It's going to be a long one-day series. Yeah, 5 is a little bit much in one clump. They could have done with another Test match, and one or 2 less ODIs would have been more preferable. I hope Sri Lanka make a good start to the series. I hope they do too. I think they will. They're in dramatic momentum form, well, in terms of the way they played. How do you think the 5th day will pan out, Buckle? You're talking about the Test match? I think it'll be a draw. Ralph Jansen, hello, good morning. Good morning your time, good evening mine. Tabash's my hunting. Norman, talk about Sri Lanka versus Australia series, not about Joe Root. All right, I will. Australia versus Sri Lanka. Well, again, Warner's in some pretty good form. Aaron Finch is as well. They both showed pretty good wares in the T20 series. They're both opening again. Labuschagne, I don't rate him, but we'll see how he goes. Smith is up the order as well. Maxwell, Stoinis, they're all there, aren't they? So Carey's back in as the keeper. Wade falls out. Yeah, so it looks like Wade's destined to be the T20 keeper batsman and Carey the ODI and ultimately the Test keeper. Norman never supports Australia. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. He always thinks Australia is going to lose every series they play. That's not true. Not true at all. Also great to see Australia win against Peru. Yes, that was Paul Newman. Fantastic. We're in the World Cup, Soccer World Cup, that is, the Football World Cup. They're in Qatar, Doha. And we made it fairly late in the piece, but we've made it. We've beaten the South American relative heavyweight in Peru, and no one expected that. So that's certainly a good result. We've got. I'm very happy for the Socceroos. They've done well. I miss sometimes Naresh Manaskani. He should be joining us again. Don't worry. His calming voice. Okay, can you bring him on the preview India? I will try to do that. Don't worry. I will try my best. He has to be available. He had a lot to do with the Bharat Army and various other IPL and what have you involvements. They're all going to come back as they've done before. So the big thing for Australia is Australia's upcoming players like Josh Philippe, Cameron Green, Travis that are hitting centuries and spinning wickets. Yeah, we've got some depth there. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to reverse parking here. This is going to be a bit dodgy with cars running around me. Okay, let's see how good I am. I can do that while talking on air live. That's pretty good. Let's just see what you can hear beeping of the car there because that's what means I'm reversing. Let's go back a bit further. So I'm actually made it home, guys. I made it home at 6:17. So good that Kane Richardson has gone home well. Hello, what's up? Nothing's up. I'm just here in the car. I'm about to leave the car now. Cricket Mirror, Kane Richardson is not an international centre bowler. I have to agree. I have to be very, very much aware of that. So we've got the game starts at 7 p.m. my time. We've still got about another 40 odd minutes to go. We've obviously the toss will take place in the next 12 or so minutes. So let me unpack this car here, guys. Got to just get that going. So we'll just get that line off. So you'll see some interrupted vision here, guys, as I get out of the car. Let's just make sure there's a private tab going on here. Let's just get that. Let's get that there. Okay. Sharat J. England will get a window. They'll go for the window. Expect when I come, we'll definitely tell them to go for it. Oh, I'm sure they will. There's 250 odd plus runs to get. They're going to be going for it. All right, guys. I'm just going to be a bit out of action here for a minute. So just bear with me. So I'll keep talking, but I won't be visible. Where's the keys to the bloody? My keys. Here we are. There we are. Where's the keys? There it is. All right. So I'm just going to get out of the car. Be a bit disrupted for a minute, guys. Bear with me, okay? Actually, this car's zooming on my right. Just see if we can get out of the car with some success. Be a rather unusual vision here for a few minutes. Here in Sydney, Australia. Let's get all this out of here. Car's already darkened. The light's darkened. Look at the bag in the door. Gonna do some quick motioning, guys. Keep talking. Keep doing messaging. So unusual, isn't it, guys? Just having to sort things out. Here we go. Right, we're pretty much set here. Bear with me. Okay. Let's get in the house. Upstairs to encounter. There we are. I think Lanka needs upstairs. I think I've done this before. And Paul's got some commentary coming in from Paul. Oh, we're inside now. We're inside. Get this off on.
All right. Some difficulty normally coming on here. Just some wires sorted, guys. I'm just about here now, so we can probably put ourselves on the stand, shall I? Usman Ali saying hello. So please work carefully. I'm not falling anywhere, guys. Remember that. Let's get a bit of a stand going here. Let's see if I can get this working. Here we go. There we are. More what you used to saying. You all know the backdrop of this place, don't you? Let's get this off and running. There we are. Let's have a look here. Not New Zealand on a bowl short as well because of Jamison, yes. Jai Richardson is a very good bowler, yes he is. Michael, what do you make of India's rights going on? It's just brilliant to see Test cricket. It's heights like that. I'm very impressed by that. New Zealand's bowled short. True Paul, yeah, I have a feeling England might win as well. I think it's a bit early to be so judgmental about that. We're talking about Australia versus Sri Lanka as well, don't forget. So please walk carefully. How impressive was James Bracewell for New Zealand? I mean, Michael. It was Michael Bracewell, I thought, not James. Paul Newman, Queensland. Get them, but they didn't. Queensland. Now, what are we talking about Queensland for? I'm not sure what Queensland's got to do with what we're talking about. I mean, the storms, or what are we talking about? Well, the power cuts actually happening in Sydney, as a matter of fact, I believe. That'll be interesting. All right, so let's have a look here. Queensland meant to get what are Queensland meant to be getting? I don't think that Sri Lanka are able to beat Australia. We just don't know that yet. People were saying they're going to whitewash Australia, didn't they? What happened? Australia won the match. Sorry, I'll stand corrected. Sri Lanka won the match. So let's not talk about that sort of badly. I think there's a lot of good things coming out of that. So let's go. Come on, let's see. I've got a little bit of. No, I'm not quite up in live preview. That's not there yet. Yeah, there we go. So, all right. So waiting on our guests to come. Yeah, the power cuts. Yeah, the power cuts. We're meant to be getting power cuts tonight. Worries me a little bit. That's why I've got plenty of power in my little tank here. The power cuts. Yeah, the power cuts. So I'll doubling up my talk. So let's just have a little look, a little week gander at what they're saying at the moment about the matches here. At this point, look, there's a lot to be said about England's performance so far. They've done very well. I mean, Joe Root batted particularly well. So did, of course, Ollie Pope. Daryl Mitchell's still there. At score 7 for 224. He's some 32 not out. He's already scored 746 test runs in his 11 matches. He's got a batting average of 57.38. Not bad at all. Pragati Rahela only just last 3 overs away for Sri Lanka. One lost. It's guaranteed. Okay. Look, Sri Lanka by no means can be. There's no one can say to me that Sri Lanka are out of this 5 ODI series. Why? Because I just beaten Australia in the third T20 when no one expected a whitewash. It didn't happen. Sri Lanka spinners, Hazaranga is certainly going to be one to watch. Look, Daryl Mitchell, 11 matches, 746 runs. High score of 190, batting average of 57.8. Matt Henry, well, he scored 300 runs, but in all fairness, Matthew Potts has already got 10 wickets playing for his country. He only just started this series. Aussie's going to make bamboozle to Sri Lanka. We'll see. Over the toss and bat, I would say it's going to be quite interesting stuff. Broad 544 wickets. Amazing. So Australia's Sri Lanka match is about to start. It's just been confirmed that Dunith Welalaga has been handed his debut cap. Exciting moment. He's very highly regarded. Showed a glimpse of his batting the other day when he finished the chase against Australia A. So there you go. Dunith Welalaga. well regards. I'll come down to it. Okay. So at this point in time, the playing teams, I mean, Dustin Tanaka will probably captain as he did for the T20. Charat Lanka, just Mantha, Chamira, Dinesh Chandimal will get his berth. He may well be keeping well. I think Roshan Dickwiller will. Dana Jade is still a great player, I think. Haranga, they've got a pretty good side. Don't discount their side. Australia got obviously Finch. Cummins is back. Hazelwood's there. Stark's not there yet. No Zampa. Zampa's had, I'm imagining anything can happen in sport. You're right, Paul. No one expects Australia to beat Peru either, folks. That's true. Very, very true. I think Australia go for big score 3-3 so they bat first. Well, interesting to see what happens. We've got another 4 minutes before the toss. But Junith Weller Lager is playing. Where's Adam Zampa? That's my question, Ahmed Raza. Where's Green and Heady? Green and Heady are actually playing in the A, I think. Adam Zampa, well, he's only been first picked in either the T20 or ODI format. So he may be on a well-earned break. We don't know, but we'll see what happens to him. So looking at Sri Lanka's strengths, Junith Weller Lager is written down as a bowler, not a batsman. I'm not sure. Is Mitch Webster there or not? I believe he's not. I don't think Webster's in the 11 because they've picked the 11 as far as the. If you look at the record of Sri Lanka, they've lost 1-2, lost 1-1. Australia have actually lost their last 2 ODIs. Middle order's weak. Well, Australia's ODI form has not been that bad, but I think they're still highly ranked, though. I must admit. Let's just wait and see. So is Junith Willalaga a batter? They're saying he is, but he's also written down as a bowler. So I'm a little bit confused there. We'll wait and see what the story is there. Oh, we got no guests coming at the moment. That's all right. A little bit early for people's working times. So Australia A are 5 for 222 now, actually. Aaron Hardy's on 61 and Josh Philippe's 94 not out. So they've obviously done well. The scorecard, we had Renshaw, who's I was mentioning, Marcus Harris is captain, that's interesting, out for a duck. Renshaw out for 2 and Henry Hunt out for a duck. So Madhu Shankar took 3 wickets there. Travis Head then got 39. Nick Madison got 14. And then Philippe and Aaron Hardy are both batting there with 94, 61 respectively. Nathan McAndrew, Todd Murphy, Matthew Kuhneman, and Mark Steckerty. So there you have it. That's at one stage 4 for 49, in fact 5 for 98, but they're now 5 for 222. The series count for World Cup Super League? I believe it does. Travis Head played well in the ODIs against us and Pakistan. He was too good for us. Well, he did have a pretty good series. I'll give him that. So Australia A, 5 for 222 was the last I've seen. It's only a matter of a minute before the toss. So young Dunith Willalaga will see making his ODI just debut today. That'll be of interest to us to see how he goes. Certainly. I'm a lot late now. Okay, so let's have a look here. 2 hours ago. What's going on here? Okay, let's just have a quick look. Let's have a quick look here. When they were looking up, what are we looking at? We're looking up it's now reached the point where the toss should be made. I'm seeing any evidence of a toss at this point. Let's just wait and see. We'll go to the community page. We'll have to make a short announcement that Junith Lagar is actually mate Dunith. It's gone straight to Summit. Dunith. We'll leave that alone. Okay. Well, Lager makes his debut. His ODI debut for Sri Lanka. There we are. Still waiting on the toss. Match starts in 29 minutes. There's no evidence of a toss, which is a bit unusual. Apparently, this guy is a bit of an early version of Angelo Matthews. We'll wait and see. I think Philippines improved trigger movement. He should play for Australia. He will play one day. Don't worry. Dunith Wallaga is an all-rounder. He can bowl and spin and a left hand bat. Okay. Who would you rate as Australia's best one-day player ever? Dean Jones, Michael Bevan. Dean Jones is right up there. And it's almost in the order you've written it down. Jones, Bevan, Polling's pretty close to the order. Bevan was amazing. Played out of his skin, as a matter of fact. So Sri Lanka have won the toss and will bat. Well, that's handy for Sri Lanka. Because I'm sure Australia would have batted. Sri Lanka have won the toss and have elected to bat. There we go. Sri Lanka won the toss and have elected to bat. There we go. It's quirky and peculiar, but it's successful. Sri Lanka won the toss and have elected to bat. Let's now see the sides which are being picked. The Australian side, I think, has already been picked, to be honest with you. It's already here. Let's just wait and see whether they put the teams up. So there we have it. Dunith Wallaga. Oh, who will be in the Sri Lankan team? We know pretty much the Australian side. The Australian side is obviously Finch and Warner opening up. Okay, here we go. So we got Sri Lankan side. Gunatilaka, Nasanka, Mendes, Asalanka, De Silva, as in Dhanajaya, Dustin Shanaka, Hazaranga, Karina Ratna, Shamira, Tekshan Willa. I just don't know whether I think Sri Lanka will be late for 2:30. Okay, what can Sri Lanka defend this game? Oh, they're going to need more than 2:30 to win the match. Put it that way. Who's the keeper? Wickkeeper Mendes. They've actually kept Mendes in there and not put Ross Dickwell. That's interesting. I thought Dickwell would have been selected. But they're probably not wanting to change the side after what happened with the T20. Be nice at least just so the squads, we know the squads, we need another team. Can't be very far away from showing us the team. So Australia 8, they're now at 7 for 2, 7-26. They've lost 2 wickets very quickly. We've seen Hardy go for 62, and I'm assuming Josh Philippe went for 94. They fell 2 very quick wickets there. 7 for 226. That's a bit of a collapse. Back to this moment. Let's see if we pick their sides are not coming up yet. Then I'm pretty sure that Finch and the like would have been unhappy not to bat first. Okay. Sri Lanka got what they wanted. It'll be tough to Aussie bowlers to bowl under the sun at 45 degrees centigrade. You're right. It'll be a hot little time for them. Let's have a look here. Just taking the time putting up these teams, haven't they? Well, they have announced the sides earlier. I remember they've announced the sides. Well, they're saying the players to watch. Lanka hasn't shown his true form yet, but he's capable. Dustin Shanaka did. Alex Carey and Alan Finch, fair enough. Mitchell Stark's not playing. Jeff Revandersay, is he playing? Shamik Karanaratta has been pretty solid. And Josh Hazelwood's been very solid indeed. So we'll wait and see whether they show these players. Okay, here we go. Sri Lanka's team is Danushka Gunatilaka, Pathum Nisanka. Kelsey Mendes is there at 3 as the keeper. Charit Asalanka's 4. Dhananjaya De Silva's at 5. Dasun Shanaka is at 6. 7. Winindu Hazaranka. Chimika Karunaratne, he played very well. Duneth Wilaga, we talked before. Just Mantha, Chamira, and Mahesh Dikshami. So there we go. Then we've got obviously the Australian side, pretty much as per program. Warner and Finch opening with Finch captain. Steve Smith, number 3. Labuschagne 4. Alex Carey, quite high at 5 as keeper. That's where he bats. Stoinis and Maxwell 6 and 7. Ash Nagar at 8. Cummins, Jai Richards, and Josh Hazelwood making up the 11. So there we go. That's our 11 for you. Is it pasting? There we go. So there we go. We'll go through that in a minute. We'll dissect it with Warner and Finch. The teams aren't that much different to the T20. Good to see Jai back in the ODI side. Yeah, expecting a good innings from Pathum Nisanka. He's a good player too. Now, looking at the Sri Lankan side, pretty much the same batting order. Maybe Asalanka goes to 4, not 3, as the T20 side. Dhananjaya De Silva comes in, who's a very good player. Dasun keeps his captaincy. Winindu Hazaranga's there again. Shamika Karunaratne also there again. Chamira and Tikshana. So only the inclusion of Duneth Welagala, who's saying he's announcing himself as an all-rounder. Here we go. The Australian side, not unlike their T20 side, except for Alex Carey coming in for Wade and Labuschagne coming in as well. Otherwise, Cummins returns, and obviously Stark's not playing because he's injured. So who did Marnus Labuschagne come in for? Or Mitch Marsh, correct? Yeah, Mitch Marsh was there. In the interesting how he doesn't play the ODI. I don't know why he wouldn't play the ODI. There's Zampa's definitely not playing. Chamika is a very good all-rounder. He played well in the T20s. Anglo handled 20 overs of mystery, as in from Hazaranka. That's going to be interesting. Richardson, Jay's pretty good opening punch. How close he bats from Matthews not in there. Angelo Matthews, no, he's not. Nor is Naroshan Dickweller. Nor is Dinesh Chandimal. Why? Because they probably all. Master's got a strain. Hasn't he? He's got a strain. That's why he's out. But yeah, Dinesh Chandimal, Angelo Matthews, and Naroshan Dickweller would normally be the mainstay of their test side, certainly. And the ODIs as well, but they're not in there. I like to keep them to the strength and the momentum of the team that played the so-called T20, especially the last one, where they were obviously some 3. Yeah, Masters injured, that's right. He's got a calf strain, correct. I've seen that, Sahaj. You're right. Thank you for that. Yeah, so with some 21 minutes to go, we are going to see a longish match. It's now starting 7 at my time, which is 2:30 Sri Lankan time. It'll go through to about 10:30, 11 Sri Lankan time, which will drag us into 3 in the morning. Where will I start? Finish. Now it's Labuschagne. I mean, my jury's out for him in the short form. It's still not that solid. Angela Matthews is certainly falling out of favour. But Dasun Shanaka certainly showed his wares with a win in the 3rd match. That's the momentum they're going with. They're going pretty much with an unchanged lineup, except for Dhananjaya De Silva's come in. And the new kid on the block, Judith Welalaga, come in as well. Very interesting to see what happens. Well, I'll be watching the whole match. Well, my God, we've got this match. We've got the England-New Zealand match, which will also have a keen eye on. I'm not sure whether India's playing today. I don't think they have Australia A's there as well. Zimbabwe's playing Afghanistan, I should say. I probably will be watching the England-New Zealand match. Could go as long as well. There's a lot of interest or reasons to start late. Absolutely, we'll wait and see. Today being Tuesday, tomorrow being Wednesday. Yeah, I may well do that. We'll just wait and see. This program that we're talking about now goes for another 30 or 40 minutes. Then I'll click over to England versus New Zealand. Zampa confirmed he's to miss the tour of Sri Lanka 2-2, but of course, I keep forgetting this. It's not based on injury. It's based on the birth of his child. So that's why Zampa's not there. Thank you for reminding Robert M. It's not because of any injury or out of form or any arrest. It's purely because his wife is giving birth to the first child. So that moment has outstripped any Sri Lankan time. I get that, and that's brilliant that he's doing that. Let's hope his cricket skills don't fade away. I don't think they will. So don't forget, back to New Zealand, 553 and 7 for 224. England 539. So New Zealand lead by 238 runs. Now, they can convert to 300. They're going to not lose the match. If they get out quickly, New Zealand might be ready to be in for a bit of a struggle. Yeah, I think Zampa is a key bowler. I agree. If you look at their spin attack, they've only really got, well, Maxwell, of course, Ashton Agar, and, well, as Labuschagne in bowling, I don't think he will. So really, it's Maxwell and Agar who will be taking on the spin frontage. He'll be definitely missed. Yes, he is. I can't see Aussie chasing anything over 250 per hour. Yeah, it'll be interesting, Sebash. I don't disagree with you at all. Australian bowling side, Cummins, Jai Richardson, and Josh Haden, pretty solid wrong. Ashton Agar, is he good enough on his own? Paxton will be touring Sri Lanka in July for 2 test matches. There you go. I think the girl, I think India is also touring, women's touring Sri Lanka as well. So a bit of mental strength given to Sri Lanka after their third T20I win. Dashun will be certainly in some sort of a mental strength from that. He's captain yet again for the first of the ODIs. Don't forget they've got 5 of them, so it's a pretty heavy program. Let's look at where those particular schedules. Let's look at the schedule here. Where's the schedule? Where is it? I'm not seeing the schedule here. The preview. Okay, I'm not sure what the. Wait and see. ODI matches are yet to be decided. Okay. England can chase anything around 280 this round, given pitch has not deteriorated. I agree, Sebastian. That means the 230 odd lead that they have now in New Zealand, they need to. Mitchell's maybe 30, 40 more runs may be important. My prediction for this series, I will say Australia 4-1. I don't think it'll be 4-1. I think it'll be more 3-2 Australia, or maybe even 2-all with a draw somewhere in the way through. I don't think it'll be 4-1 to Australia. 3-2. I think it'll be a lot closer. Sri Lanka have got some momentum. We can't deny that. They've got some momentum. 16 minutes from the start, they got some momentum indeed. Let's just wait and see, huh? Not far away from we're going to wait and see what's going to happen in that match, of course. There certainly is a lot of interest in this series, especially from Sri Lanka. Indeed. Let's just have a look at the. Always interesting to see what makeup there is here. Mile 1. Here we go. It really. Let's go here. You're predicting Sudo 3-2. That's what I said. Or even 2-all. Let's just go here real time. That's not what I was trying to find. I need to find. Let's have a look at this. 9-3. There we have it, live preview there, 72. You can do a lot of work on a computer when you least expect it. It's always important to have your monetization on and add to your playlist as well. In this case, there we are, there's those 4. Early days, sidecut. Test series is way more important than an ODI, so totally agree. Will England go to chase 280 to 25 overs, or will they play for a draw? They're going to play for a win. With Brendan McCullum leading them, there's no hope of them doing anything other than that. Are you kidding me? Certainty. Absolute certainty. McCullum will say, go for it. And they're quite capable of doing it too. But anything over 300, it'll become a little bit more difficult for them, time-wise especially. And New Zealand aren't bad bowling as well, don't forget. There we have it. We finally got that sorted. Okay, 77 there. All right. Well, we've only got some 13 minutes before the game starts now. First ODI, day-nighter in Pallekele, June 14th. My brother would have turned 73 if he was alive. Unfortunately, he died many years ago. Bowler short as well, remember, who Australia, yes. Well, no, England, sorry, yes, of course. Well, New Zealand, I should say, New Zealand with Jamison having had a back problem, a stress fracture potentially. Aussie ain't know the not 5 for 222. They're in fact 7 for 236 now. Sabash has moved on from there. Some 13 minutes before the match starts. Interesting to see what happens with that match. Okay, so Josh Philippe 94, correct. I just said Australia versus Sri Lanka. Australia a 7 for 236. Josh Philippe got out for 94. They were going really well at 5 down, but they've lost 2 rather quick wickets there. Australia, not unlike New Zealand, they were 7 for 224. Australia 7 for 236. Very similar scorelines, actually. Very similar indeed. I've got 12 before the match starts. Zampa isn't there because of the paternity leave. People keep asking why is Zampa not there. Zampa would have been there, I'm pretty sure. But because of paternity leave, as his wife's having his first child, he's now left it to Agar, and Glenn Maxwell as well will come out and show their where. Travis Head's not there, but look, he's on the periphery of the side. He's not a main player on the side. They've got a few that have returned. Steve Smith, well, it's time he has a big one. For sure. He needs to have a big one without a doubt. We've got some 10 minutes before. Let's see if we've got any. Let's see if we've got any. Let's just get off that. Let's just get into this Facebook. No. Okay, let's go. Just try to see if we can find the Foxtel, whether they've actually got that on there, shall we? Josh, I think Philippe and McDermott should open again. They will probably come. They probably will get a Guernsey in those matches. I think they will. I'm looking at live ODI. This is the problem with the computer at the moment.
This is the call.
Yeah.
It is a tail, Dustin. What you going to do first?
We're going to bat first.
You're going to bat first? Why's that?
Because it's a use wicket, you know.
They're saying it's a used wicket. There we go. So on 5 on the Foxtel, I'm seeing it now.
Comes back in, Alex Carey and Pat Cummins.
So we've just heard about Pat Cummins, of course, playing. Overshane on the side as well. Ground looks looks quite sunny. It's actually particularly hot. To wait and see how they go. Sri Lanka batting first, which is an interesting twist. Umar Malik versus Ashdeep Singh. Who would you prefer today? I would say Umran Malik myself. Zama having a well-deserved West with his I agree. Yes, it's true. Just Gyrus and Josh Pat on new baller. It'll be interesting. We're going to see him very shortly. Dustin Shanaka must be very happy. Cam Green in the background with Michael Divenuto getting ready to come on. We got, well, at least there'll be, well, Cam Green won't be in the side, but pitch is dry, and it's used, is the term Ralph they used. Pitch is dry and it's used, which means it'll take a bit of spin. Bowling second under lights should suit Sri Lanka, and they got Hazaranka there, of course.
All right, gentlemen, thanks very much for your time. Good luck today. Right, the news from the middle is that Sri Lanka have won the toss. They're going to bat first.
Very good toss to win.
So here we are looking through the Sri Lanka side. Guna Talaka is an all-rounder. Up in the batting with Nisanka. Mendes, he's 83, Azalanka at 4, Janajay at 5, then Sri Lanka at 6. Quite an impressive side indeed. Australia's team, of course, Finch, Warner, Smith, Labuschagne. Kerry batting quite hard in the order. Maxwell Stoinis, Agar Cummins. Australia's side's pretty strong. Smith and Labuschagne, are they informed to play at this level? What about Labuschagne, Harenda, Rawat? Well, yeah. It's a used pitch. I think 250 will be a good score. Let me do it with one time and then yeah, we'll wait and see. There we are, the Sri Lankan A side. Pulling back the score a little bit. There we go. So we're only a matter of minutes away now from the start. Yes, Paragati Raheli, you're right. They did have a great opening stand there. There's the national anthem being sung. Alice Carey's made his way back. What a position will Maxi bat? Well, he's batting at 6, it looks like. Or at 7. I'd say 6. Pretty low for him. I would have put him higher than that, to be honest. Well, definitely him higher than that. That's too low. One of my guests today, well, probably nobody early. It's a bit early for some people. It's an Australian time. Norman, why isn't Cummins ODI captain? That's a good question. Well, Aaron Finch is both T20 and ODI. That's the way it's worked out. That's fair. We're only guests today. They'll come down. Norman, why isn't Cummins? Okay, back later, Norman. So, okay, Paul, you come back later. Another other stream there between England and New Zealand. The Sri Lankan side looks very tall. Interesting how they haven't selected Rajan Dickwella. There's Raja Madugala, who's obviously a well-known Sri Lankan player and also a match referee. Quite a crowd there. White, Warner, Rohit, Finch, Dragan are going to retire. Okay. Well, Labuschagne bowl, I hope not. Whereas Siddharth, he's busy on Sports Day these days. Darwin, you mean, okay. Sri Lankan crowd there, all happily watching on. Hazaranga there, Kaushal Mendes, quite a few well-known players. Jamira, Jamira, Sri Lankan flags on there. He's very proud, especially when you think of how things are not going well in Sri Lanka. But I didn't have free tickets for day 5. Why not? Well, good idea. Like a bigger crowd. There it is, the famous Pallekele stand I know very well. A lot of nice corporate boxes there. Some very young-looking Sri Lankan players. Gurkrat Gill, he was here yesterday. He may not be available today. It's a weekday, guys. With Sri Lanka struggling, have you reached out to them in terms of resources? I have. I'm helping a lot of them, don't worry. Do you think Australia have to improve on death bowling? Yes, they do, Kavish. Well, yes, and they need to find some. Well, they've found them. They're there. It's just a matter of promoting them. Remember that view very well. There's the media box behind us there. Remember Shapali walking in there, me being over here. I remember the area very well. Indeed, we've got some. There's the Sri Lankan with Silwood there. 5 minutes to go. Mendes. Decent crowd, actually. Pretty decent crowd. They've certainly come out in numbers here for Sri Lanka. The tops with a nice line to one side. It's a rather nice design, isn't it? It's time for Stephen to show his class. Well, he's due. Have you been to grounds. Subhash, I was married to a Sri Lankan for 15 years. I've been to Sri Lanka more than 20 years. I played at Pallekele before there were stands there. Played Asagiri, which is also in Candy. Played at Gore, SSC, nondescript curriculum, Bloomfield. I played on truckloads. I've been virtually all of them. Invite someone like Gil. Good evening. He's in Ibiza. That's what the next player on flop. No, this is an impact play. He's a good player. He certainly is. There's one of the most famous supporters there, the short bloke there. Sri Lankan flag there with the green, orange, yellow, and red, and the lion symbol. Yeah, Graven, he's in Ibiza. He was here as much as he can. You know, he comes as much as he can. There we are. So Sri Lanka ready to go. Australian team ready to get ready out. They feel they lost the toss, so they're having to field first. There we have it. Cummins is there, not captain, of course. We've got Jai Richardson, probably a place to start. Hazelwood as well. There's Zanka there with got a look at the two great players. They've been playing well on the T20 side. Who'll bowl first? Probably Josh, probably. When will you be here in India, Norton? Give it time, we'll be there before too long, Harry. These two are better well, I think, for their T20 side. So, any thoughts on the? He looks like he's just 9 years old. He obviously has talent. He can battle bowl. Oh, great. Who are the next lot of Australians? Well, Jai Richardson probably is the one. Danushka Gunatilaka. And of course, Pathun Nasanka, who's only 24. Hasn't quite yet hit the wall of fire, but he's on his way. The upcountry area of Candy. Josh Hazelwood looks like he's opening. Well, he's 31 years of age now. He's not young anymore. Had 57 ODIs with 93 wickets. 3 5-wicket hauls. Very interesting start to the series, I'd say. We're just approaching. There we are. Okay. Here we go. The first few overs. See how it pans out. We'll get a pretty good gauge on things pretty quickly, I'd say. Sri Lanka versus Australia at Pallekele in Canby. First ball's been hit through the slip cord, now on the ground. The Cummins is fielding. Single for first ball. There we go. It's a nice start for opening pairing of Sri Lanka. Almost early stage of the match. Not forgetting that in less than just over an hour now, is just over an hour. It started a minute or so early, by my calculations. That's finished. Started a minute or so early, didn't quite start at 7. Alex Carey coming back into keeping. Certainly be interesting to see how he goes. He's always in good form, isn't he? Let's just see how we go. Pallekele was there the day that there was no sand. So it was just simply a grassed area and mounds of dirt. an inside edge, which is going to go for 4 runs, I would imagine. Yep, it's raced off the inside edge of the sunker. He would be happy with the result, not with the way he hit it, though. Maybe, yeah, we'll see. Do you know the commentator's name other than Hadden? There's a South African name, I believe, and a Roshan Abasingh probably is the other. None for 5 after 3 balls. It's lucky with an inside edge there for 4. $134 clicks, by no means express. What about playing Sweps in the 11 today? Well, he's not even in the squad. As far as I'm aware, I think Swepson's not exactly in huge favour at the moment, for whatever reason. It's Chris Silverwood, having been the coach of England, and now moved to Sri Lanka in no uncertain terms very quickly. Well, the ball didn't carry. And the sunker didn't quite get on it. Kept low. Kept very low indeed. Nishanka looked very good. He's looked good in a lot of the formats that I've seen him in so far. Steve Smith is a backward point. Well, Steve Smith needs to be a forward scoring shot when he bats. So, interesting with Steve Smith going at number 3, over showing 4, which is actually out of order for Test cricket. There's the opening over 5 runs of it. It's quite solid. Nothing wrong with that. Hazelwood bowling a bit of a wobble seam. Still landing quite nicely. And keeping very low. Very low indeed. Yeah, the Australian side looks, well, there's no Stark and probably Zappa, the two that were notable exclusions. That would mean Agar would have been out with Richardson. Those two would have been in their place. They'd be showing probably for Mitch Marsh. Were I a professional cricketer? I wasn't at that level, no. I wasn't that high, no. I still play cricket now at a pretty high level. For my age, certainly. I was not talking about me. Glenn Maxwell's opening the bowling. Here we go. He's played 117 matches, taken 51 wickets, which is pretty reasonable. Yeah, bowling the second shot, Jay, all right. High regard for Maxwell to be bowling, opening bowling. No bounce in the pitch. Norman Aussie should struggle to chase too. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to happen, Sabash. I think it was a good toss to win for Sri Lanka, I think. It's a pleasant over, definitely. Who is your Sri Lankan favourite player in the present team? Kavish? I'm going to still say Naroshan Dickwell. He's not here, but I would have picked Naroshan Dickwell every time. I love him the way he plays. Dana Jaya Silva's very good. Cultural Mendes at his best is pretty good. And Dustin Chinaka, after his performance last T20 international match, the 3rd, looks fantastic. If he keeps that form up, he's the player to watch, isn't he? Glenn Maxwell's pretty highly favoured for his bowling. Already got a very deep mid on there. It's a wide. Dinesh Chandimal Hyperion, yeah, you're probably right. Probably worth being in the side. There we are. There's a ball that kept going down. Popped in some wide, unfortunately. A bit of loop or swing. I'm not sure what that is. It's been a pretty strong wind out there. There's the setting of where the ground is at in Candy. I can remember that vividly. It's I can remember arriving there and going around. Yes, I can remember the ground very well. Jai Surya versus Jai Wanda, Sangakar versus Sell Your Phone. Jai Wanda and Sangakar, hands down. Aravinda Silva was great, and Sarjai Surya were also great. But Jai Wanda and Sangakar went to that extra level, I think. It's a nice shot. There's no one back there. It's 4 runs. Well played. Tilaka. Danushka. Nice square drive there for 4. Looked way too short. Leant back and found the gap and went straight through. The lovely hills of Sri Lanka. I know the place very well. Some great food there. Yum, yum, yum. There's a bit of rain in the distance there on the mountains. County's very hilly. It's up country, as they call it. Up the mountain, up country. 1 for 12, Sri Lanka. Very interesting indeed. Hazelwood in his second over, bowling quite resolutely. Nothing flash though. Far from flash. Now we are in a situation here where we're going to be able to get ready to cross over at 7:30 to the other England versus New Zealand match, of course. Sri Lanka steady as she goes at 9 for 13 into the third over. Crowd's not really full on, but it's reasonable. They'll come later in the evening as the game progresses. All 280. If they get 280, they're going to put up a very formidable total, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with that total if they get to that level. There we are. The Sanka. Got a lot of balls on the inside edge there. Kavis Meldinia. When Indu's hand hard to read under lights, that's an advantage to Sri Lanka. Absolutely. He will be something of a hole, for sure. There's Malinga there. Watching on. Labuschane's out there in the middle. Under the third over, 9 for 14. Squared up somewhat there in the Sanka and anyway he's playing. Now I'm going to 15 minutes time I'll be crossing over to the England-New Zealand match. Another broadcast. Can't do both. Sanka's, well, he's taking his time. Hazel's bowling very accurately. Pallekele in all its glory. Hazelwood comes in. Clipped around, there'll be a single in that. Yeah, well, a shot, but just shy at the stumps, but no results. Lanka is on 7. Untitled is also on 7. The score is on 15 after 3 overs. Best run rate in the first 10 overs of an ODI, Sri Lanka 4th, Australia 3rd. Then India and England leading the pack. Sri Lanka's opening over was pretty sound, actually. An update here from Subhash. As available to bat as required on day 5. However, he's unavailable to bowl due to the lower back injury. So on day 3, the report from Dennis MRI scan is still being assessed. Thank you for that. You would argue that he won't bowl, but will he bat? That's the question. We'll wait and see. Beautiful waterways there around the hills of Sri Lanka. It's uninhabited, actually. Pat Cummins has now come on. Age 29. Well, has 70 matches, 111 wickets. About 39 Ks. Not quite expressed yet. Well, in the 4th over. So Hazelwood 2, Maxwell 1, coming straight on. You think Hazelwood should pitch the ball up, take this, or just lay the ball back at the length of the power play? I think his bowling length is typical metronome Hazelwood, to be honest. Cummins looks very accurate. Joe Richardson's there. He's only had 14 matches. Not as many as the others. Huge riverway there in Candy. Obviously, that widens. Let's flip that. It's gone straight to the field there. It's like this. Okay. Very tied up there. Very tied up, is he? There's the media box. Not that many there. I can see that. Half a dozen or so, maybe a dozen. Not far away is Asagiri Stadium, one very famous Buddhist surrounds of the same graveyard on one end as well. Someone's just gone 4 dot balls and so it's a good start. Sri Lanka's somewhat conservative at the moment. Sri Lanka's teed up and hasn't got quite anything on that shot at all. All right, guys, we might end the show very soon. I can see the interest now is to watch. Cummins comes in, the ball's a bit looser, but it did bounce. Bethune gave as much as he could. You know, Aga's mum is Sri Lankan, so I certainly do, Kavish. Certainly do. Surrounds there's a bit of a work-related area there, which a good friend of mine has some of his offices. So Finch and Warner both scored 5,000 plus ODI runs. Smith 4,000 on. Hubberstone only 500. Carey 1,200. Glenn Maxwell 3. Stone's 1,200. Then Aga, Cummins, Richardson, and Hazel barely anything at all. Warner scored the most. Finch is second. Actually, interestingly enough, Finch has played the most ODIs. We're going to go very short because I'm going to be back on in only a matter of 10 or so minutes for England versus New Zealand. We'll come back to the Sri Lanka match, of course. So, Karish, I'll be on there for the England-New Zealand talk. There's a shot down to third man. Oops, he just come and seemed to muck that up. Cummins looks a little bit. Are you going to go now? I'm going to go shortly. It was a bit sloppy from Cummins, but he still succeeded in stopping it. So Sri Lanka are none for 17 after 4.1 overs. My wickets, Gunitilaka is 9. Nasanka is 7. Hazelwood none for 10 offies. 2.1 overs so far. Massive stand there at the, I'm going to say the southern end. Oops. As was bowling a nagging line of length, as he always does. Skidding through, keeping low. It's going to be very unpredictable sort of wicket, I'm going to guess. Hazelwood comes in again. Bit of an inside edge there. Nothing too serious. They're stronger, somewhat struggling, I would argue. And the fifth over only scored 17 runs. It's by no means a free-flowing batting effort so far. Average first in totals and ODIs at this venue, 253. There you go. Anything above that will put Sri Lanka in good stead. Oh, Gunitilaka's taken off and he's hit beautifully over the wicket boundary for a nice 4. Hazelwood finally found the length that he wanted. Kavish, I think that 253 plus, around the 280 mark, will be a winning score. It's a good shot there. Plenty of room to play with. None for 21. That was more like it. These two need to really, really tee off. So Gunitilaka is aggressive, and Nasaga's anchor, it seems. Well, Nasaka can play pretty aggressively too. I've seen of him. None for 22. 1 ball left in this 5th over. He's playing this rather like a chopping type action. We'll see a result in a test match today. I think so. That Vipakara, I think we will. I'll be tuning onto that in the next 10 or so minutes. Don't forget, I'll be switching from this platform, Sri Lanka versus Australia, to the England-New Zealand platform, South Vipakara. Don't forget to join me there. Naga must be very proud having a parent from Sri Lanka. Australia will slip to number 7 in ODI rankings if they lose this series 4-1 or 5-0. I don't think they're going to lose it that convincingly, but we just don't know that, do we? We just don't know that at this point. We just don't know that. Let's clip that nicely. Oh, look, these batters are batting soundly, but they've got to get their wriggle on a little bit. They can't afford to be just dawdling around. All right. Mitchell Stark is actually physically there and he's got his finger strapped. He's not playing. I'll be playing the Test series, I'm pretty sure. We may see Stark come back for the third or fourth or fifth match. We'll see, depending on how quickly he heals. He looks fit and ready to go, but his finger's not playing up. Is not playing well, or isn't playing up. His knee obviously has some work done on that as well. He's not showing his finger. If Australia can take the power play wickets, then Australia will definitely switch around. Okay. If Sri Lanka made 300, Australia will chase down first. Okay. It's confirmed that Stark will play from the third ODI. Right, we'll see. That'll be the first in Colombo, actually. I think the first two are in Pallekele. 1 for 23 into the 6th over. Rather controlled scoreline at the moment. Masanka's been listening. I'm not sure what Masanka was trying to do. It didn't work, whatever he was trying to do. Nothing for the bowlers. Not yet, anyway. Much real. I don't think I'll be on very shortly on another channel. It's a wide. I wonder if I can keep 2 programs going at once. That'll be a bit of a novelty. Sri Lanka will take an Aussie 5th bowler, so this is an actual, I reckon. Yep. Today, the entry into the day 5 of the Test match is a great move. I think so. I agree. We're going to see that very shortly. I'll bring a bit of a crowd there. Well, Lanka is 15 not out. Lasanka 7, none for 24. Last delivery of the 6th over about to come up. Let's see. Dhanajaya, I think I know, well fielded there by Steve Smith. Lasanka's just got to be a little bit patient. He's getting a bit frustrated there under the collar. No point in doing that just yet. He did hit the ball well, but just it's all right. He needs to just wait for the next ball and try again. Massive scoreboards in Sri Lanka. I love them. Plenty to see. How will Australian bowlers batsmen play the 20 overs of this Shana? Interesting to see. We'll wait and see. Every chance Sri Lanka win this first match. They've got to get the wriggle on a bit with their batting. Jai Richardson comes into the attack. 1 to 6 overs. They used no less than 4 bowlers in their 6-7 overs. I'm certainly mixing it up there. Jai Richardson 14 wickets. Sorry, 14 matches for 24 wickets. So, yeah, this is the 7th over, the 4th bowler being used. He's edged it, but has gone straight through the gap and has gone for 4. Strong will beat Australia. Rowan Coley. There we go. Yeah, blessing in disguise. I agree. I think Kane Richardson's a below par. I would agree with that. He's edged it. It's gone low and was nowhere near the fielder, so it's 4 runs. Oh, well bowled. Would beat the bat there. Needs to be calm without throwing his wicket. I agree. Totally agree. And the 7th over, the 28 runs. I don't cut away. Oh, looks like it's 19 not out. And very shortly, guys, I will switch over to the other platform. Do you follow me? It's always an uncertainty with Australia Bournemouth, and there's no contradiction. They may even lose 5-0 here. Well, let's not hope for that. I don't think they will. It'll be a bit too harsh. Kane Richardson, even his Bill would never like, they rely on his past experience, I think, can't they? On for 28. We're going to wait a couple more overs. So far, no wickets have gone, and this is fast approaching the 7th over finished. Australia can use 4 bowlers. Still got Agar to go, and potentially Stoinis. No Mitch Marsh. Labuschagne, I don't think will bowl. They're just hitting just on 4 runs and over, which is pretty bloody ordinary. So win the Test series in Pakistan and so win the ODI series in India without Stark, Smith, Warner, and Hazewell. That's true. That's true. Very true. Very true indeed. They're trying very hard to get away with a single that's not quite working at this point. And only 4 and over. That's not anything too dramatic here. Sri Lanka destroyed Australia in the third 220. They certainly did, right? They certainly did. But Australia win the series 2-1. That's true too. So you guys have your point of view. It's bastards, but Sri Lanka have 2 missions to who will take one. It's going to be interesting here. All 3 of you are right. All have good comments. Oh, is the singles there? There was a single there. There was always a single there. 122 Ks is pretty bloody slow from Cummins. It was a deliberate slow ball, and it looks like it was. All right, guys, we're going to click over to the next session here. Do you reckon? Yeah, I think we should. It's now 7:30. So I'm going to. All right. Australia versus Sri Lanka. It's on the way now. We can see Sri Lanka won the toss and batted the none for 29 into the 8th over. Cummins none for 3. Sri Lanka's 19 on that. The Sunka's 8. Fair start, not a great start. This is pitch flat, knocking like well, chase it down. We'll have to wait and see. There we are, nice shot from Goodman Salaka. He's clipped it nicely over the boundary there. We did the 23, the none for 33 now. It's a reasonably good start. It's a good shot there. So, yeah, that's true. want to finish. Okay, Loish. Oh, we'll wait and see. Well, it's going to be Sri Lanka. Let's give Sri Lanka some hope here. They're going to get some runs on the board. They're done for 33. It's a fair start, not a big start. There we go. Oops. Okay. We're seeing a bit of interest here. We'll go a little bit longer. Hey? Go a little bit longer because the England New Zealand match, we know the story there. There's not a lot to talk about just yet. Let's go a little bit longer here. Let's have a look. Okay, we're not far away, guys. Pass us. Oops, it's gone over the top there. So it's gone. There'll be 2 runs that way at least. None for 35. It's sound. Ball bounced up high. That was on the ground first. That's what I like to see. It's gone to like it's 25. He's got to go on to score 50, 3,500 with a start. Pressure certainly showing on their face, I'll tell you. It seems like you hate Australian cricket, who me. There's no one test ranking, but there's the points I'm certain. And look, it's fine. I did well against Pakistan, under all, everything said and done. Good slow ball there from Cummins. 115 km from Cummins. That is certainly bloody slow. 8-6 and 20-32. 8-16, 24, 32. It's still just over 4 runs and over. Lanka has placed more balls than Gunnar Lanka, and he's only got 8 runs. That's not good. Do you think Travis Head should have played because he had good? Perhaps lost 3-0. Yeah, we lost 3-0. That was a pretty. I was there for that tour. Australia just beat Pakistan 1-0. Yeah, a bit of balancing going on. Wait and see. 2 test matches in Gaul, so Australia will get used to the conditions, but they'll have a tough Torrens first. They'll have Chandimal, Matthews, and Ross and Dickwell on the side there. 3 guns for Sri Lanka, in my opinion. Here we got Joe Richardson's back on. So through the gap. At least 2 there, you would think, with Warner filming. Suckers now double figures into the 9th over, 37. Steady. It's very steady. Hasn't found the gap. Pitch looks a little bit sluggish. It's used. A little bit sluggish. Just no doubt about that. They're starting to kick on here. These guys are starting to kick on. A bit of form being shown. 68. We're almost got an hour and a half, guys. I'm giving this channel a break, and we'll move on to England, New Zealand. We've still got another. I'll give it another 10 minutes, I reckon. Just see what transpires here. What do you reckon? And for 38 into the 9th over, both batsmen are in double figures now. Philippe Green and Head played this lady. I said all trio will correct centuries. Could well do. Could well do. Stoinis has got a problem with his eye, actually. Well played. Good to luck. That was a very powerful off drive. Lofted, but powerful. 42. Goodness luck is on 29 now. So he's getting his skates on. He's going to continue to score these runs. And even though he got 4 for that, he probably could have kept it not as uppishly. Well, this is a sound start from Sri Lanka. 1 for 42 into the 9th over. I'm happy enough to keep going with this one. It was a more direct delivery. Good luck has got to keep this going. He can't just rest on his laurels now. You can't see any Aussie bowlers taking a wicket on this sluggish pitch. Well, at the moment, it's certainly worthy of spin, and that will come on later in the match. And I think as long as these two continue batting the way they are, they get a 250 plus total, 280 or thereabouts, and make it hard for Australia. 9 overs, none for 42, so a reasonable start. Certainly isn't bad. Sound, they're both not out. The opens, that is. Interesting to see what happens. Yeah, okay. Today, India need changes to move. Akshar Patel, he is doing nothing with the ball. I don't agree. I think Akshar Patel is better than you think, so for current. Important player for India. So, well, very often, actually. So there we are. None for, there's an aerial shot. He's played that well, Sanka. Starting these skates on now. That was a confidence boosting shot. It was a bit wide there from Cummins. Yes, it certainly was. And 46 off 9.1. Nothing wrong with this. Australia A versus Sri Lanka 8 scorecard. Class batter, yes, I think he does. Lassalle. Australia Sri Lanka 8 scorecard. What's the scorecard there? Let's have a little look. What am I looking for? Australia 7 for 266 after 59 overs. So they're chugging along there. Who are the not out bats? Nathan McAndrew, 26, and Steketee, 13. Yeah, we won the match against Peru. That was very important. Sri Lankan batting is boring. I'm waiting for a blockbuster fall off. Okay, we'll get to that very shortly. How many runs does Joe made? Joe as in Josh Philippe, 94. Do you think follow? Yes, I do. I certainly do. So let's just see the end of this over. I'll finish at 10 over mark. Do you follow football? Yes, I do. I just do. Hathum, I'm waiting for a 6 or 4. He's got enough on that. Is it a 6 or a 4 is what they're asking. It's a 6. I don't know about an easy. There it is. The Sunka's on 21. Good luck on 29. They've hit 52, these guys. That's a fair start there. Fair start. 50, none for 52 Sri Lanka. One more ball for the 10th over. Run rate of 5, which brings them to 250 or thereabouts. All right, okay, we're going to be leaving this very shortly, guys. Let's watch this last ball. Sri Lanka after 10 overs, a none for 52. Let's wait and see. Cummins coming in, none for 19 off his 4 overs. Well, that's a good shot again from the Sunka. He's just hit the ball clearly for 4. Well played out to last time. Score 56 after 10. Sri Lanka, Gunatilaka's 29 and the Sunka's 25. They're both none 56. This is a pretty handy start. Okay, Finch rotated his bowlers, but they failed to give him. Okay, they certainly did. All right, guys. Let's leave this program. We'll go to the other. Shall I go? We have 2 programs happening at once. This is going to allow. Enter a studio. What studio we know? No. I'll be in.